Host, Christene Marie. Y'all, let's go ahead and dive in with some of the previous lessons leading up to today's review. Lesson 45, God is the mind with which I think. Lesson 46, God is the love in which I forgive. Lesson 47, God is the strength in which I trust. Lesson 48, there is nothing to fear. Lesson 49, God's voice speaks to me all through the day. Lesson 50, I am sustained by the love of God. Lesson 61, I am the light of the world. Lesson 62, forgiveness is my function as the light of the world. Lesson 63, the light of the world brings peace to every mind through my forgiveness. Lesson 64, let me not forget my function. Lesson 65, my only function is the one God gave me. Lesson 66, my happiness and my function are one. Lesson 67, love created me like itself. Lesson 68, love holds no grievances. Lesson 69, my grievances hide the light of the world in me. Lesson 70, my salvation comes from me. Lesson 71, only God's plan for salvation will work. Lesson 72, holding grievances is an attack on God's plan for salvation. Lesson 73, I will there be light. Lesson 74, there is no will but God's. Lesson 75, the light has come. Lesson 76, I am under no laws but God's. Lesson 77, I am entitled to miracles. Lesson 78, let miracles replace all grievances. Lesson 79, let me recognize the problem so it can be solved. Lesson 80, let me recognize my problems have been solved. And we are going to jump into just a deeper review of lesson 83, which is covering lesson 65 and lesson 66. Lesson 65, my only function is the one God gave me. I have no function but the one God gave me. This recognition releases me from all conflict because it means I cannot have conflicting goals. With one purpose only, I am always certain what to do, what to say, and what to think. All doubt must disappear as I acknowledge that my only function is the one God gave me. More specific applications of this idea might take these forms. My perception of this does not change my function. This does not give me a function other than the one God gave me. Let me not use this to justify a function God did not give me. You know what I just thought of as I was reading this? I think all of us at various points or another have found meaning or even derived purpose in getting justice or getting even or taking revenge. Or even just in the complete opposite, like suppressing and finding ourselves not necessarily by choosing forgiveness, but by kind of like looking the other way. And what ultimately this is getting at is that whenever we find value or find meaning in anything other than the function God gave us, which we were talking about yesterday was effectively operating as the light of the world, and the manifestation of that in so many ways is that forgiveness is actually the conduit to us walking in the fullness of our mission and of our function, which is being the light of the world. So for anything we're holding on to, for any area of our life that we're not allowing forgiveness to flow, it's preventing us from operating in our function. And sometimes it's so corrupted because we find so much of our meaning in the holding on to grievances. We actually find identity in that. I have a couple friends of mine who I'm super close with that their identity is the victim that they found themselves being years ago. And here's the thing. We can actually find a lot of our purpose in pain, but are we holding on to pain to define us, or are we actually allowing ourselves to let go of it so that we can keep moving forward with the purpose that was derived from really moving through that pain? Like, have we moved through it? Are we on the other side of it? Or are we dwelling and kind of like existing in the pain, and now we become so familiar with it, with the lack of forgiveness, with the grievance, with the actual sorrow or the grief that we're holding on tightly to, and it's now become our identity. And now that is our function, rather than operating as the light of the world that comes on the other side of moving through the pain, moving through the grief, moving through the grievance so that we can land on the other side of forgiveness and thus walk in the fullness of being in the light. So I think this is something for all of us to think about as we move through our day. Lesson 66 review. My happiness and my function are one. All things that come from God are one. They come from oneness and must be received as one. Fulfilling my function is my happiness because both come from the same source. And I must learn to recognize what makes me happy if I would find happiness. Some useful forms for specific applications of this idea are: this cannot separate my happiness from my function. The oneness of my happiness and my function remains wholly unaffected by this. Nothing, including this situation or circumstance, can justify the illusion of happiness apart from my function. Y'all, isn't this so true? It's so easy to really, man, I grew up in a very Christian conservative environment, and there really was a martyr complex in so many ways. There was so much, people found a lot of value in being the one suffering for Christ, and the one whose life was miserable because of some high call, where really it's, man, we're actually, if joy isn't a part of our life, if peace isn't a part of our life, are we actually really experiencing what we're espousing? You know, there's this concept of you shall know a tree by its fruit. And so if our fruit is depression, if it's anxiety, if it's judgment, if it's fear, what's actually going on inside of us? Because what effectively God has promised us is that, hey, when you let me fill your spirit and fill your soul, there's going to be love and joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. All of those are fruits of literally the presence of God. And so if we're not having those fruits in our lives, then that probably is more speaking to the absence of God. And so we have this incredible opportunity, and this is what we talk about on the morning show. We actually do talk about what's our potential, what could and how could we live if we so choose, in terms of the mind and in terms of the spirit. In terms of the evening show, we talk definitely more so intellectual intelligence, artificial intelligence. Even today, we're talking business later around, you know, how to really catapult your business and scale and grow and all of that, which is so important. But y'all, the morning show is really where we talk about the cultivation of our spirit and our mind in a way where it's, let me actually take mastery over my thoughts, because so much of the time, what I see in the external world is a projection of what I'm thinking about. So if I am meditating on all the grievances, all the ways that people have hurt me, all the frustrations and annoyances, I'm actually going to experience the world that way. Rather than, you know, I actually want to find beauty today. Where can I find it? And all of a sudden it's brimming and teeming everywhere. You know, we start to notice the sky and the clouds, and we can start to notice the trees, and we start to notice people, like how beautiful other people are. Y'all, there is beauty to be found if we so choose to look for it. And so this conversation today about nothing can steal away our function as the light of the world really is so true. It's just a matter of, am I wanting to find the light in other people? Am I wanting to love other people? And am I willing to do the work necessary internally to allow for me to love like that? So y'all, I think I maybe made a mistake in chat where I'm not seeing any chats. So I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm not seeing them. But all that to say, thank you so much for joining me this morning. I will be live again today. I don't have my phone on me, but I do have a guest on the business side of things. If you guys want to join us later, let me confirm the time for that. It is at, oh, that's going to be a good conversation. It's at 1:30 p.m. Eastern on Foundation First. If you guys want to join that, let me grab that YouTube channel. If you guys want to join that, Foundation First Marketing is going to be where we're hanging out at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. If you guys want to join. And I'm sorry, I don't know why. Oh, here we go. To activate chat, please enable channels. The channels are enabled. I don't know why. I was wondering why I wasn't seeing any chats. Well, sorry, guys. Normally, I always respond to the chats on here. And for whatever reason, I'm not seeing them. That's so odd. And I can't even post to you and say where you can come hang out with us. Let me actually go into my channel over here and see if I can join it live. I've never done this before. Hold on. I'm joining literally. Okay. I'm in YouTube right now. Oh, I can see. Okay, now I can see the chat. The lens of leisure. KH. Greetings from Puerto Rico, David. Cast Blast says, I have trouble finding the light switch at night sometimes. Okay, I can see that. Troublemaker, good morning. Let me go over to the other channel, the Knowing Podcast. Let me see that over there. Sorry, y'all. That's so weird. I've never not seen the chat. Oh, actually, one time I couldn't find the chat. All right, now I'm on the Knowing Podcast. Ben Snyder, here go. Love the earrings. Thank you. Wandering Veteran, good morning. Random Hope Cells. Yeah, Ben says, I have a question. Feel free to ask the question. Anthony, good morning. Glad to see you. JJ Villa, good morning. Melbourne, Australia, watching. Good morning. Thanks for joining. Guys, it's so cool. It's so cool how we can all literally be so far apart from each other and join. It's just incredible. Yes, if you had a question, Ben, feel free to ask. Robert, thank you. You're so kind. She can finally read comments in the first thing she's yeah, it is true. Wandering Veteran, good morning. All right, y'all. I will be live tonight too. So this afternoon I have a guest on the Foundation First marketing channel. That's really, we talk a lot of business on there. I actually started going live over there every day if I don't have a guest. So Foundation First Marketing, yesterday we actually had such a good conversation. I don't know how many of you are in the trade space or just, you know, what kind of business you're doing on the day-to-day. But yesterday I was at a roofing company talking with them about just a proposal for fractional CMO work. It's such an incredible conversation. And I just, right when I got out, I hopped on because it was I just had like this massive revelation on a business front. And it was so exciting. So if you guys want to join me where I talk business, Foundation First Marketing, it's a new channel. We have only a few friends, but come and join us if you want to hang out. Wandering Veteran, what is the channel topic? So today I have a guest on Foundation First, but in the majority of the time we just talk, honestly, we talk branding, marketing, business growth. I'm fourth generation of my family 100-year painting business. So I'm coming at it from the owner perspective, but then I'm also coming at it from the fractional chief marketing officer perspective, where it's like going into businesses and looking at the data and looking at the messaging and the brand and marketing strategy and all of that. So I come at it from both angles. So if you guys want to join that, that's where we talk business. And then tonight, actually, I'm super excited about it. 8:30 Eastern, we're actually diving into the topic of shame on the Knowing Show. So we've got two more conversations coming up today. 1:30 p.m. Eastern on Foundation First Marketing, and then you guys can just show up here at 8:30 p.m. tonight. We're talking shame. So come in hot. Let's hang out tonight. Thank you guys for joining today. I'm just jumping over back into the chat. And I do have two streams. I know everybody knows this at this point, but at some point I am going to stop one of them. I'm actually not sure which one yet. So Ahmad, good to see you. Darth Clorox, Max Payne, Jonathan Wells, Arda, good morning. Cage, hello. Callum, hello. James Ware, how do people... That's a good point. He says, why do people do this live for hours and hours for so few viewers? How much do YouTube pay for one single hour live? So one, I don't get paid. And I feel like I do this because I want to. I do this because I care so much about emotional health and emotional intelligence. I have experienced firsthand the brokenness that comes on the other side of not being emotionally healthy. And this is really what I feel called to do. This is my mission, and I'm not doing it for the amount of likes. Obviously, it's encouraging when you see that people are resonating. But my hope and my prayer, honestly, is that in my lifetime, my mission would be, influencing, even if it's a small number of people, but like, man, we all become healthy together, emotionally, spiritually, intellectually. Guys, we need emotional health more than ever. There's families breaking apart around the world, and countries are falling apart because we have these leaders in place that are insane and they're not healthy and well. So I really, really care about emotional intelligence and just being like literally the best we can be. So that's why I go live. It's not because I get paid. It's not because I have millions of followers. It's because this is what I feel called to do. And sometimes what we feel called to do doesn't make sense to other people who chase vanity metrics. So we have to have a different definition of success to keep us going when it is like, oh man, no one's watching. But at the end of the day, that's not why. We do it. We do it because we know it's right. We do it because we feel called. And that's where we have to know what is our calling to such like an nth degree, because it is the thing that sustains us when the going gets tough. So with that, thank you all so much for joining. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Brian, I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining. HB, good morning. Simply blessed. Hello. I'm so glad you're here. It's been a little while. Wandering veteran, thank you guys. I am so grateful for each of you. Jonathan Wells, Arda, Ben, y'all have a wonderful day. I will see you today, 1:30 p.m. Eastern, as we talk on Foundation First Marketing, and or tonight, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, where we talk about shame and how to conquer it.